I can think about as a Giant fan, what the Philadelphia Eagles could potentially do to us again on Sunday. This is Tennessee New York Giants Fan Talk. All right, man, like Big Blue LLC. Of course, the Eagles are resting all their starters and getting prepared for their next week matchup in the playoffs. The Eagles have not had a bye week since the fifth week of the season. So tactically, it's a smart move. I mean, Saquon Barkley is only 100-some yards away from the all-time single-season rushing record. Of course, it would be in 17 games. People forget, and they're like, well, that record's not really going to count. Well, Eric Dickerson did it in 16 when OJ did it in 14. I'm sorry.
That's what she said.
That you should need to think about right there as well. But if you go back to a few years ago, when Doug Peterson decided to pull Jalen Hurts, and we all know what happened. We lost our draft position. We made a stupid trade. We missed out not only on Devontae Smith, but we also missed it out on Mr. Parsons. But you gotta look at this from a perspective. You never want to lose games just to lose. I've said this before. I always thought this was a 4-5 win team, and little did I know that my prediction would potentially become accurate. I never thought we would kick the holy shit out of Indianapolis like we did. That was a shock. Drew Lock has the game of his life, and he's now the most hated man in New York. Because any best laid plan we had for a quarterback is really just kind of just gone out the freaking window. With a potential win on Sunday, the Giants can drop all the way from 4th to 10th in this draft. Great balls of fire. That's just not something you want to hear. Because of the fact that I'm not overly sold on any free agents that are on the market. I've said this before, outside the top 2, I'm not sitting there in an overabundance of joy thinking, we're going to watch the whole Jaden Daniels, Drake May scenario play out again. And it's sad because, people are already going, well, we'll just get a bridge and we'll get a quarterback in 2026. You hope your team is going to get better in 2025 and 2026. You hope the team's going to get better in 2025. You hope you're not going to get a 3-win season out of it. This is what I don't get with people. Like, well, hope we can get a quarterback in 2026. So you were expecting another 3-win season? I thought the idea was to get better, get demonstrably better. Oh. And now I'm seeing the J.J. McCarthy rumors. People are like, well, the Arizona Cardinals traded Josh Rosen to Miami for a second rounder and some other pick. So why can't they why can't the Minnesota Vikings do that right now? Because I don't think the Minnesota Vikings are 100% sold on the success of Sam Darnold. And there's already speculation in Minnesota that they're not going to offer a big-time contract to bring Darnold back unless he has a deep playoff run. And we've seen what happens before when you have a quarterback that has a deep playoff run and you base your decision solely off that playoff run. Not looking at you, Daniel Jones. Things have known to go bad. They've known to go crazy, known to go haywire. Sorry, when I got a cold. Nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna do it myself.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I'm gonna wonka myself. So people are saying, well, let's trade a 2 and a 5 for J.J. McCarthy. I love it because J.J. was the wild card in last year's draft, and of course he got hurt. And so many Giant fans didn't want J.J. McCarthy. Now those same Giant fans are trading valuable draft assets to get J.J. McCarthy, who has yet to take an NFL snap in a regular season game. He played in the one preseason game. We don't know what he is. We don't know what he's not. But if you weren't willing to take or draft J.J. McCarthy last year, why would you trade a second rounder and another additional pick to go get him? I know Joe Shane way because that's the Shane way to do it. And I have this very bad feeling that both him and Dable are going to be back. I don't know how. Lord knows I don't know how. I don't know how your team can get demonstrably worse every year. And you think, well, the guys that wreck the franchise should be the ones that fix it. I was never for the Giants taking J.J. McCarthy last year. Because, like I said, there's too many unknowns. He played in a run-centric team with Michigan. He was really never asked an overabundance of time to carry the offense. but he played his part and he played his part well. So are you going to rely on, is he going to be a dynamic player? I don't know. Is he going to be this something special? Does he have this certain je ne sais quoi? I don't know. But I look at some of the prospects later in this draft that you may get in the 4th, 5th, 6th round that I think to myself, hell, they might be better than J.J. McCarthy. Right now, the cream of the crop, I rise to the top, is going to be, of course, Sanders and Ward. I personally think it's Ward and Sanders, but you know what? It's one half dozen another. Then what do you do after that? You got Jaden Milroe. I think he may sneak into the bottom half of the first round, only because of the fact that this draft is so porous in reference to talents in regards to the quarterback position. But the problem is this. You have to teach him footwork. You have to help him improve his decision-making process, not only under pressure, but just in general. You're going to have to teach him, you know what? It's not one read, then run. But you can't teach speed. You know, we've talked about that, and Mick has talked about that. You literally cannot teach.
They got to get speed. Demon speed. Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
You can't teach 4-3. That's what you can't teach. But is he going to be a Lamar Jackson? Or could he be a Michael Vick? Or is he going to be one of these quarterbacks whose first, in reference to the first sight of danger, he takes off? I don't know, but I can't. I'm not comfortable grabbing him even in the latter half of the first round. I mean, you look at Quinn over in Texas. I don't know. I don't know. His interception rate is, and of course he was injured, but his interception rate is up, and his yards per attempt is down. It's not a good look. And of course, there was always my candidate, Carson Beck. I love Carson Beck coming into this season, but now he's having the UCL. The UCL surgery on his elbow. Brock Purdy had the same injury, return to action, I think in 5 or 6 months. But if you remove the even the surgery, I had him as the top quarterback on the board going into the season. I'm seeing 3rd or 4th round. Because the more and more we see him, the more and more we watch him play, the more and more we get an idea and a concept of his game. He steadily seems to be getting worse as the game progresses. You know, is it the Ladd McConkey effect? And what's his name? Brock Bowers? Could them leaving have helped hurt his passing game? So did these two guys make him the quarterback he was? He did lead the SEC in touchdowns, but also he led him in interceptions. But again, I can get these guys probably later in the draft. And I'm not going to spend that was the high-level draft assets for the likes of J.J. McCarthy when I can go out and get Jackson Dart. Dart had a 68.6% completion percentage, threw for over 3,800 yards, dual threat guy. He just seems, I know he has the arm capability, but I'm kind of curious to see, like we've said it before, is he really 6'2" or is he college 6'2"? I'm going to have him ranked 3rd or 4th round. Now listen, 3rd round picks have turned out to be pretty good quarterbacks. I'm not looking at you, Russell Wilson. But again, I'm not going to move on my assets for J.J. McCarthy when I can still get a guy I think who has the same amount, who may potentially have the same amount of talent or untapped potential talent as J.J. McCarthy. And to be honest, if I grab a guy in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round, and he pans out, I'm not paying that 1st round money 4 years down the road for my quarterback. I can do what the Eagles did when they took Hurts in the 2nd round. They built that team because they built around a quarterback they drafted in the 2nd round. Who, of course, you only get a 4-year contract in the 2nd round. You don't have a 5th-year option. But the way they built this team is because they knew they had something in this guy early on. And Jalen Hurts, that is. So can the Giants find a steal here? I don't know. Listen, and I don't want to hear anything about Dylan Gabriel. Oh, dear Lord. Big Dylan Gabriel, 2 years or a couple of years back when he had that one prolific season at UCF, looked like he was something special. He then had the injury. He then hit the transfer portal. He's looked good at times, but Dylan Gabriel to me is a 6th, 7th round pick. And I think that's what we need to look at in regards to Dylan Gabriel as well. But with this being the last game of the season, you got to kind of hope the Giants don't muck it up. And the Giants have been known to muck it up. We've mucked it up many times before. And we're probably going to muck it up again. And I get worried that we're going to do something stupid like win these last 2 games. I've said it before. You know what it is? A couple of years back, the Knicks had the opportunity to get into a better position to take Karl Anthony Towns. They were going to get more ping pong balls if they didn't win the last couple games of the season. And what did they do with their stupidity? They won the last couple games of the season, end up with Kristaps Porzingis because they lost the ping pong balls. Could the Giants do the same thing? Could they play themselves into like a 6th overall pick, still not to get a quarterback, stick with Brian Dable and Joe Shane and allow them to continue to build a roster, which is poorly constructed now? We've said it a million times before. This is a cut and paste team. The talent on this team does not match anything that they're trying to do. It's not trying to match any type of their own offensive philosophy, but for some unknown godly reason, we think they have a plan. Running is not a plan. Running is what you do when a plan doesn't work. And I kind of think that's what this team is doing. They're running. The Giants are running from success. And thank God we have Brian Dable and Joe Shane and John Mara at the helm because they're the best at running from success. We'll have a live stream on Sunday, the last Sunday live stream. Sunday morning live stream, I should say. So make sure you're there for 10 a.m. Giant live stream. Whatever the hell we call it. I don't know what the fuck we call it. Hopefully I'll probably feel better by then. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. You want to know why? Love you.